Yeah, also for anybody feeling bad about like not looking good enough on camera, just check out some of the first videos that I made on YouTube. The camera quality is trash. So it's a process. It's a process for sure.
Hi, guys, and welcome back to Interacts Grow podcast, where we talk about all things marketing and help you grow your business. I'm your host, Jessmyn Solana, and with us we have all four of us. Jesy, welcome back. Hello.
So happy to be back. Thank you guys. And awesome episodes while I was gone. I really enjoyed listening to them. But I do have to say, I had like a little bit of like FOMO every time you guys hopped on. And you were like, oh, well, Jesse's still not here. And I'm listening and
That's how
hungry
I felt
waiting.
when I was gone and did not participate in the episodes, but we're happy to have you back.
Thank you guys. I'm excited.
Give us a little rundown of Hungry and how it was.
Hungry was amazing, but well, let me just preface this. I'm in California, so we have a lot of like dry heat here. There, it's a lot more humid, so it'll be 93 degrees, beautiful sunny day. Then 4 o'clock rolls around and it's thunderstorms and it's pouring. So that was definitely a big switch up. And also just, the food, everything else is so different. I feel like it takes a while to get your body to adjust to everything there. And now I've been back for less than a week and I feel like I'm still adjusting here. Like I see if you're on video with us, we got some bags under the eyes, still getting used to it.
Yeah, I gotta say, Jackie, I don't know how you traveled to like multiple countries in a short span of time with all the different foods. I feel like my stomach gets messed up every time I go anywhere.
I think I just eat all the things anyways, no matter where in the world I am. So we're good. My stomach's like, let's just keep eating more.
I like keep
I
going, keep going. Love it. Love it. Well, happy to have you back. And guys, hopefully you enjoyed hearing our two co-founders last week talk a little bit about Interact in the last 10 years. I know we've all really enjoyed working here in the time that we've been here. So this week, a little bit of a shift back to our usual topics. We thought it would be really fun to talk a little bit more about how to take one YouTube video and create multiple different types of content just based off of that. Um, and Jesy, this is actually your idea. It's your first day back, so why don't you kick us off?
Yeah. So, I mean, when we were brainstorming ideas, and I was just thinking about one thing that really changed for us, like when it comes to content this year, is that we have been leveraging YouTube and videos so much. And not even just for posting on YouTube, but we found a way to turn our YouTube videos into blogs, into help articles, and so much more. And I feel like we've all been kind of surprised by the success with YouTube, whether it's a 2 minute video answering a quick question versus like a 5 minute tutorial video. I think it's just been such a great way for us to answer our customers' questions and also just like expand our reach.
I love this idea too of taking one YouTube video and using it for different content because for us, part of that strategy shift was also to spend a little less money, right? Like we loved working with our contractors, but you had a writer and then you had somebody for video and then you have somebody for social media, right? So now we're kind of taking all of that and just repurposing our content, which I think will really resonate with a lot of our customers because it you have to like think of ways to continue that reach out to your audience and think of ways to come up with new content without burning yourself out.
Yeah. And I think another like huge part of it is that YouTube is free to use. It is free to publish videos. So even if you don't have like the most high tech camera or anything, you can get started. And we'll get into this later, but also free transcripts on your YouTube videos. So that's a huge part.
Yeah, also for anybody feeling bad about like not looking good enough on camera, just check out some of the first videos that I made on YouTube. The camera quality is trash. So it's a process. It's a process for sure.
We also spent like the last few years recording all of our podcasts just on Zoom. And it wasn't until what, like 2 months ago, we finally started using Riverside and the quality got like a million times better.
Yeah. Yeah. But the point is you can definitely start out with nothing, right? And then later as we got better at doing things, or we learned more, then we're able to do different things. So
Right.
you can get started no problem on YouTube.
Yeah, and when I say some of those videos were really bad quality, like it could be both in terms of camera quality and just like, hey, AI was brand new to us when we started making more videos too. So that was a learning curve as well. But some of those videos, like I remember one video, I'm like, I can't believe I'm letting Jessy publish this, but I sent it to her anyways. And what's that Munch video at now? Like 9,000 views. I never in my wildest dreams would have imagined that many people would want to watch that video. So really seriously, don't get in your own way about just getting started about posting a video, because you'd be amazed. As long as like the information is there and it's valuable to somebody, it's going to be watched.
Yeah.
Jackie, in terms of recording the video, can you talk a little bit more about like getting started and even just feeling comfortable recording yourself?
The way that I got so I was already comfortable on Zoom doing live sessions, right? And for the most part, because we couldn't, everybody couldn't always attend live, we would always record those sessions. And so then after a little while, it just turned into me doing live sessions. Doing live sessions and posting them to YouTube. And they just lived there, and I never checked the stats, and I didn't care about it. It's just I needed a place to house the footage, right? Or like the video, so I could share the clip. But then it turned into, okay, everybody in our community, or like maybe even sometimes coming through chat, is asking the same questions, and this help doc or this blog isn't as helpful as we need it to be. So of course we can update that. But hello, video is so much easier to explain a complicated concept to somebody, especially when you're trying to show something on your screen, like if you're walking them through a tool or whatever. So the next phase of I was already recording this stuff live and publishing it was, okay, everyone's asking the same question. Let me just record myself answering it in no fancy edited form, nothing like that. It was literally me on Zoom recording myself, my answer to your question, and then publishing that on YouTube. And then people would, start watching that. We'd share it in responses, whatever. And then it just became, to be honest, I joined Dan Bennett's Video Pros cohort is what it's called. And it wasn't until then that I really started getting into like the scripting of making the videos. I upgraded the equipment that I was using. We used different platforms outside of just using Zoom. So that's really when the quality started coming, but I had already mastered the confidence. I wasn't scared or uncomfortable being on camera, which I really think you have to get over first.
Yeah, I don't think I could go straight to like super clear HD.
It was for as long as I've been making videos just on the Zoom, right? On Zoom. When I got this new camera, it took me like probably a week or two to start hitting record again, because I was intimidated. Even though I was already comfortable filming myself, I was like, but everybody can see everything. and because I have this quality, it should be like it should have jump cuts and B-roll, and like I'm learning about scripting, and so all of the things that I was learning, I was trying to implement into one video. That was never going to happen. You're going to make really bad videos, and they're only going to get better over time.
Right. And Damaris, don't you still use some of these videos to send to customers?
Yeah, well, it's interesting that we're talking about this, because I was thinking about this as you beautiful ladies are talking about it. I think I have like my own internal process of who I send certain things to. So like, for example, like our developer, Matt, our co-founder, like he has asked me, hey, if you see certain trends with Google Analytics, or if you see certain things with Facebook ads or integrations, just Slack me and let me know. And it's sort of just become a process of like everyday life for me now. If I see an integration that comes up often, and I see that we don't have any videos, or we don't have any sort of docs or help docs or anything like that, then I'll Slack Jackie and I'll be like, hey, do we have a video on XYZ? And so it just became this ritual almost. And for the longest time, the one example I can think of on the top of my head was branching logic. That help doc gave me nightmares, customers. I just want you guys to know that help doc gave me nightmares. And so finally, I think, was it Jackie or Josh? One of you guys decided to update the help doc, right? And I think Josh went on YouTube, made a very new sort of refresh on our help doc. And it's updated, for all of you wondering. It's updated now. It looks perfect. But that's sort of our process. It really comes in like, as customer support, I get the feedback sort of internally in my head. And then I start, now that I'm saying this out loud, I really should have a better documentation process. But Um, and I start just telling people like, hey, do we have this? Do we have this? Do we have this? Just sort of trends that come to mind so I don't forget about it. And then I'm sure you ladies have your own process and it just sort of blends in, you know?
It
But I
actually
definitely use
does.
them.
It starts a lot right there, like needing to know what the customers are asking, right? Like that's the first step. And then asking if the video exists, right? If it doesn't exist, Jackie creates it. Then it gets sent to Jesy to edit the video. And then
Mhm.
from that video, publish, we grab the transcript, which then gets sent to me to create the content, like the written content, and trying to figure out different ways we could use that same video, but write multiple articles that can link back to that video. Um, and all the different pieces of it. And then once we have that video up or that blog post up, then we start thinking about, okay, well, how can we simplify it even more to put into social media? And then also like, well, we want people to actually see this, so let's put it in our newsletter. Or we just, as you guys might know, if you've been following us, we're redoing our onboarding sequence. A lot of these get also put into our onboarding sequence because we want to answer the questions that our customers have when they first sign up for an account. And we do that by like all these videos, including content or written content. And I think that like what I learned, at least from my end in creating the blog posts, is that like you need all of those in conjunction with the video because the video can't always hyperlink to all the other stuff that you're talking about, right? But then when you're reading it, it's almost hard to follow. I don't know. I just maybe this is a millennial thing. So anybody correct me if I'm wrong. That we grew up with video, you know. So for us, like watching video is actually more preferable than reading, at least for me.
For me, I'm not. I hate reading. I've said it multiple times on multiple podcasts and videos of mine. But I do just want to say too that a big problem that I had with my original videos was that they were too long. I would go off on little tangents, or I'm so excited about quizzes and interact, seriously, in all honesty, that I would just keep talking about all of the possible features that you could use at any time, you know? And the beginners were like, wow, overwhelmed. This is confusing. I'm not going to watch this video anymore. Also, it's like 30 minutes long. No, thank you. I have like 5 minutes. And so once I started taking Dan's course, I really realized, and I started scripting things out, I really realized the importance of breaking things down into more bite-sized chunks, which if you're making a longer video, it's totally fine. There's really good reasons to do that. But you can also take sections of that and like link it to certain blogs or certain help docs so that you don't have to read or watch all of the things that Jackie has to say, because there's always a lot, but just zone into that one thing that you need to do, like connect to MailChimp or whatever. So that's what I would say is, and that's why it's really helpful in the onboarding experience, because you're not giving like a strategy video to start. It's like, no, the first video you see is, hey, you just got your AI quiz. Awesome. Here's the next thing that you want to do. The video is like 2 minutes long in total. And it's very specific with what you need to do. And if you get stuck, go, this is where you can access in chat. So I think that's like also a game changer, in addition to just being so personable. Like, wow, somebody took the time to record this for me and talk to me through this screen. It also allows you to, especially with editing, like cut down to very specific points so that you can highlight that in certain blogs, certain onboarding flows, certain social posts, then link into other topics so that when they're ready to use more advanced features or, evolve their quiz, they can do that.
Actually, like you mentioning, I have to look this up because you mentioning the personable part is really critical because I did this case study on a customer that went out recently. I think her name is Sabrina Phillip, and she's a coach. In her results pages, she actually like includes a video of her explaining the result. And I just loved that myself because, especially if you are a coach or consultant, or even if you're selling products like, let's say, skincare products that people are putting on their face, right? Like, it, like I think seeing a face and meeting someone makes it feel like, oh, like they actually do care about me, and I'm meeting them as a person rather than just buying from a company. Like
Also,
buying products from Sephora.
Mhm.
Yeah, right. And like it allows you to trust the person that you're watching more as well. Like if I was going to buy skincare products from you and your skin was terrible, I would not purchase it, you know? But like knowing that you're talking about the product, you're using it yourself, you tell me what you
Mhm.
like about it or how you're using it, it just it creates this trust and this likeness factor, I don't know what to call it, that you can't just necessarily get by, you know, posting a photo and writing something, because did you really write that? Is that really your photo? I don't know. But a video is just more, feels more truthful sometimes.
Yeah. I also really like the fact that you guys all started with how, like, when Damaris has a question that comes in, she sees a pattern. I feel like most of the time, if I go on YouTube, I'm searching for a small, like, niche tutorial video on something so random that someone happened to record. So if you are like, I like looking at bigger picture and you're like, I don't know what to make a YouTube video about, think about the questions that like your clients ask you. Like if you like help, like I don't know, if you help people work on their websites, make a 2-minute video on how to embed an image into a blog in WordPress. There's one. Then how do you embed an image into a blog with a different website, you know, Squarespace or everything else? So you can really break it down to tiny little pieces, and you'd be surprised how many people are going to be like, oh my God, this is the video I've been looking for, which I think Jackie has done such a good job with, turning all of like these little customer questions that we get back into these snippets and like easily digestible content.
What's that
Yeah.
phrase where you say like it's not a sprint, it's a marathon? Is that, did I say that right?
I think so.
Are you
What
trying to quote?
oh,
Are you trying to quote
growing
Nipsey
on
Hussle?
YouTube? Yeah.
But like the idea, right, is that like don't think
Mhm.
of it as like you got to get all this information out at once, and actually like breaking it
Mhm.
down into pieces is better because you can put more content out there.
Yeah.
And for the YouTube algorithm, sorry, Damaris, and then I'm gonna stop.
No.
But with the YouTube algorithm, you want people to stay on your channel and you want people to keep watching more of your videos. So if you break these concepts down, like answer a question that your customer has in a short little couple minute video, then like think through the process. What's the next step that they're going to need? Do you have a video on that? If not, that's the next video that you can create. Link the first video to the second one, and so on. And you can see how, especially like think about your customers going through your onboarding flow, right? Now put that into YouTube because they're watching the videos. The YouTube algorithm is really going to see, wow, these videos are helpful because look at the volume of people that have watched this, and then continue to move through this series of videos so that they can accomplish whatever they're trying to do.
So on that note, actually, I think you're bringing up a good point. I don't even know if you realize you brought this up, but when you put stuff on
Okay.
YouTube, go ahead.
I was going to say, can I say something to add to
Yeah.
Jackie's thought? Because it's a very good point for those people out there or businesses out there that are trying to like maximize their content, like video content. Since my role specifically is like customer support and chat, sometimes I use these videos that, for example, Jackie has made, and I break them down and I just send them screenshots of wherever they're stuck, right? Like if you have customers that are just stuck in whatever process or whatever questions you have, you can literally just take snippets of certain things and just send it to them. I found that to be so much helpful than having to send out a paragraph of instructions of how exactly and where to go. I just literally go to the video, minute 3:30 or whatever it is, take a screenshot, send that to the customer, and they're like, oh, I didn't see that, or whatever it was, you know? And I just think that just like thinking of the customer support aspect of it, that's also another way you can totally use for your customers
Right,
on a
like you
daily basis.
don't need to recreate it every time. You could just
Yeah,
video, take that screenshot and send it.
exactly.
Um,
That was
yeah,
my
no,
thought though. Sorry,
that
go ahead.
definitely, no, it relates to actually what I was saying of this idea of housing your videos on YouTube because you're able to move those videos around but still see your analytics in YouTube. So like whether you
Mhm.
create a social media post that links back to that YouTube video, whether you create like a blog post that goes back to that YouTube video, like you'll be able to, one, like you're helping the algorithm recognize you, like Jackie was saying, but also you're able to see analytics and like the power of what your videos are doing.
Mhm.
And
So this all sounds, oh sorry, Jesy, go ahead.
I was going to say, touching on analytics, we only have 300 videos, or a little bit over 300 videos, but we have over 80,000 views on those 300. And let's say 150 of those were when we were starting out and they're not the highest quality, they're still getting views, they're still getting hits. So,
Right, right. Um, so everybody's probably like, this sounds great, but Jessy, can you talk a little bit more about like, you know, what it takes to actually go into editing the video before you start creating other content with it?
yeah. So, here's our process. Jackie records a video, and we currently use Tella to record videos because it's easy to screen share and like zoom in on certain parts. And we do a lot of that just because we are sharing our product or tutorials. So once Jackie records that video in Tella, I download from there. I'm breaking it down like super granular for anyone that's listening, just so you know. And once I download, I put the video into Premiere. And now we've like a little animation to start the videos that we add to the beginning of each video. And we also have little music and stuff. And then we also have an end screen where you see YouTube videos in the end, it'll pop up like videos that it recommends or playlists that it recommends and a button to subscribe. And I would say if you can get that onto your YouTube videos, that's kind of like the minimum thing, like a little entry video and a little ending screen so you can recommend different videos. That would be like where to start. So once that video is edited together with the entry video, ending screen, then I export that and I upload to YouTube. From there, it's as simple as adding a title, a description, and then a thumbnail. And you can easily create a thumbnail for your video in YouTube, I believe, and also in Canva. And we use Canva. So we just have templates for them and we just change the text, we change like the images and things like that. And from there, I feel like that's it. You schedule it out and it's good to go.
Love that. And
And
then it's on your YouTube. Oh, can you talk
yeah.
a little, can you actually add in more about like how to rip the transcript from the video? Because then we could talk a little bit about blog post after.
Yes, yes. So once the video is published on YouTube, it'll process for like a little bit, usually like 30 minutes. And after that, it'll generate a transcript for your YouTube video. So you don't have to pay, you don't have to use another source. You can grab a transcript for it directly in YouTube. We copy and paste that transcript into a Google Doc, and that is when I pass it off to Jessmyn.
So from there, I will say the formatting is not great. You have to
Yeah.
reformat the whole thing. But what I started doing with the quiz review videos that we've had Annie, our COO, create to turn those into like customer highlights, is I will read through her transcript and actually highlight places where she says keywords, where she says really important things that like explain the topic that I want to create this customer highlight based off of. And then I actually rewrite the entire article using the words that she had used in the transcript, which for me actually helps a lot because I don't have to think of the words. When you're a small team and you're trying to pump out a lot of content, like that's the part I think that gets draining. Everybody tell me how you feel about that, is like trying to come up with like, okay, well, now we have to say this in the script and then we got to come up with the content. It has to like make this point and so on. It's not like it is all calculated,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, writing is not my forte. Jessmyn's not. I praise anybody out there that likes to write, and I have writer's block all the way. Like, I
Yeah.
can't do it.
I also feel like once Jackie does a YouTube video and I'm editing it, I watch the video and then I get ideas. I'm like, oh, she just showed us how to embed a video on Squarespace. Our next video should be how do you embed a video, somewhere else, like a different website. So you can just kind of like waterfall down. Once you start creating one video, there's gonna be so many other little ideas. And like even now on this podcast, I'm like, we should make a video of how you turn a YouTube video into a blog.
Right.
We don't have that yet. So it just kind of, I feel like the more you create these simple little videos, the more ideas you're going to come up with.
I
We
have
can
started. Go ahead, Jackie.
Oh, I just want to say, because sometimes I'll make a video, and like a lot of times, especially recently, the video will be using a chat GPT prompt. And so I need to give you, the watcher, the viewer of the video, I need to give them the prompt to copy and paste so that they can use it, because sometimes they're really long, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on occasion, Jackie will write a blog post, but I prefer to actually have AI write it, and then the lovely Jessmyn takes over and edits it so that it sounds like interact. But what I do, Jess, is similar to what you do, where I take the transcript and I sort of like highlight key things, but instead I move the chunks of text around to fit a shell of this blog, right? So sometimes I even have AI write the shell of the blog, but then the meat, like the main topics of this, are from that come straight from my video. I made the video, so it's super easy for me to just bullet 1, 2, 3, right? Then I just copy and paste the text from each of the sections of the video into that section that it will fall within the blog, put it into AI, and then it writes it. It does a I want to say it does a really good job of writing the blog, because usually Jess will say, like, what prompts are you using to make this write like this? Like, I feel like it takes so long sometimes. But I just wanted to say that because, yeah, we can totally make some content on how to repurpose a video into a blog, because we've already done it. But two, it does work really, really well and just helps you to create content faster if you need to, because like you're all saying, sometimes the words just don't come to you.
I was gonna say, like, it's funny. I was also gonna go into ChatGPT and talk about how sometimes I'll take the transcript and just ask it to give me like the main points, and then I will use that to rate the article. I guess, like, for me, I don't know why writing an article with ChatGPT just doesn't work well for me. Maybe because I'm impatient and I don't want to take it piece by piece. I'm like, either write the whole thing or don't write it at all. So I'm the type of person where I will go into ChatGPT, ask for the main points, but then fill it in with my own knowledge and experiences, and I'll look on, I'll research actual like articles to link to and whatnot. But I like that, Jackie, when you do write an article with ChatGPT, I really am like, oh wow, how'd she do this?
Bit by bit, girl. Slow down.
I
Yeah, anytime you're asking it to do everything all at once, even if you're using it to make a quiz, right, it's never going to be as good as when you sort of give it the information slowly and step by step. But the other thing I wanted to say that's a really great way to utilize video and blogs and putting your video on the blog and linking the blog in the video is that when you're recording, you probably want to highlight like high level top key messages for the most part. Maybe not, maybe you get really in depth, but then you can take the blog to go more into that, or write a whole separate blog that relates to that they can click off to and read more about it should they be interested, as opposed to speaking about everything in the video, which is what I was doing originally, and then risk losing people because they're not able to stick with the video for 30 minutes or more, or however long they were, or because they're just too overwhelming. Jackie's giving way too much information all at once, where they need to receive it bit by bit, just like ChatGPT. Look at us.
I wonder if you could take like your video, right? Like the transcript, go into ChatGPT and ask it like, what are tangential topics I can write articles based off of this video, and like use it to give you like other ideas to take that one video and make multiple pieces of content.
Yeah, I think that you totally could, and there's another blog for you all right there. That we can talk about, really. Honestly, no, I think it would work great. The other thing to think about think about who you are, because it's fun to listen to you say this, Jess, because you're not recording the video. I am. So like, I don't need to watch the video. I did the video, so I know what's in there. But Jess hasn't watched the video, so she can just have ChatGPT run the transcript. So like, really think of who you are as a person. Do you know high level what you want to say? Then do that and have ChatGPT fill in the rest. Or like me, I have all the details, but I don't necessarily know how I want to outline it. So I'll have ChatGPT create the outline for me and then fill it in with the details. So it's like a personal preference. It'll work well both ways.
Right. That's so true.
And this is how ideas are formed, guys. For all of you listening, look at that. We're just formulating ideas as we're talking here. This is how it happens.
We thought we were teaching you how to do things, but now we're just brainstorming what we're going to do next. And we're going to hop off this call and try it. I also wanted to ask, like, in terms of relating this to customer chat and social media, because those are both like customer facing communications, like how would you say YouTube videos relate, besides like teaching them how to use something, like I guess like for you guys specifically, when you're coming up with how you speak to customers or what information you want to like send to them or present to them and so on?
Yeah.
Because
So
it's a little
I,
less like, here's how to create a
yeah.
blog post. It's more of like just answering questions that they ask you.
Yeah, I feel like because we do like such little niche specific videos, you kind of have to take the bigger picture of it. Like if it's something about how to like segment like leads, with a quiz using MailChimp, but you need to take the bigger picture of just segmenting leads, and what can that do for your business? How you can personalize content. But then again, I know for Damaris, for you with these videos, it's about like the nitty gritty, the details, and everything else. But I think for social content, you usually want to generalize it a little bit more to reach a bigger audience, and our videos do have like the nitty gritty details, and then it takes you to our blog that also breaks it down and it covers the bigger picture.
This is an interesting question because I actually struggled with this. I think the first 6 months that I was doing chat and Jared was training me, it was difficult for me to read between the lines a lot of the times with what customers were saying to me, because they would word it one way, but it really meant something completely different. And Jared used to tell me, "Oh, you're going to get used to the verbiage. You just have to be patient, right?" Which I was not, by the way. I was not patient at all. But now that I'm over a year and a half in, I'm like, oh yeah, like now I can sort of decipher what they're trying to tell me without them actually telling me. And really, the way that I respond is very cut and dry, is the best way to say it, because the way that I look at it is they're just coming in here to get a question answered and then moving on. Like I'm not going to sit there and write paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs. I'm just going to give you the answer and then keep it pushing, And so that's worked very well for me. Obviously, I'm not rude to customers, but I'm saying, it's worked very well in the customer support side of things, and it also helps me mentally track trends that I see as things are happening. Because if something is happening over and over and over and over and over again, and then obviously I either set up some sort of macro, or I'll reach out to Jackie and be like, "Can we make a video about this? Because I've been asked 100 times now, and I need something faster." Things like that. So
So
I
this is where, sorry, I was just gonna say, like, it's funny hearing Terrence talk about that, because that's where like it creates this circle, because once it
mhm.
gets back to like how she uses the videos and customer support, and you hear people use different words for the same thing, then we can continue creating more videos based off of those different words, because um, if that's the language that they're using, you want your content to include that language.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I was like,
it's
it's
like
come full circle.
guys, it's a loop, it's a circle. It just goes, keeps
The
on going.
circle of content right there. There you go.
Yeah,
That whole song.
yeah.
Now we're
Woo!
gonna
Oh,
have to make
even
a song.
like to sort of wrap it all together. I remember
Yeah.
Jackie reached out to me and she was asking me about Flowdesk, right, which is a very popular email marketing platform that we constantly get asked. I just searched up literally Flowdesk in my chat questions that which I have hundreds of, because this is something that I get asked all the time. And she just took screenshots of verbiages and things that customers say. And that sort of helped her decipher what to actually write it on, right? And so it just really comes back to just that simple sort of, once again, loophole of,
Mhm.
a circle, the circle of life.
Right.
And just like
That's
your
so
business and
crazy.
your offerings aim to solve a problem, so does each piece of content. Like you're creating it
Yeah.
for a reason. Maybe it's just to have fun and engage somebody and get them excited. I don't know. Or maybe it's a very specific nitty gritty how to. But either way, every piece of content you're making is there to solve a problem. But then as you solve one problem, you start to unlock all these other issues that people might be having, which may be explained through this one issue, but they're saying it, they're thinking it's something different. So, anyways, I just wanted to say that it's in this life cycle, it serves a purpose because your people need it. That's why you want to make it. That's why you're making content anyways.
Right. I would say like my number one advice would be like stay curious about what your customers are asking, what they're looking for, what they need. Because if you continue to stay curious, I feel like that's why we are able to come up with content even when we're stumped, like today when we weren't sure what we wanted to talk about on this episode. We looked back at like, okay, what are our customers looking for? Like, what are they interested in? What questions are they asking? And what do we want to say about that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or even to add to that, Jasmine, like I just, this is like the latest example I can think of. Like yesterday, I was literally, I think I wrote on the general channel, food for thought, because I was literally thinking about this as I was doing AI quizzes for our customers. And I just posted as a question to the team, hey guys, I'm noticing this trend. Help me sort of decipher what we can do about it. And then this morning, we just had this amazing dialogue of ideas and how to improve it and how to do this. And it really was just a thought that I was struggling with. Like, I don't really know how to solve this. So let me just get everybody else involved at this point, you know? And it just like, it just becomes that. I think that once you start like feeling very comfortable about content and ideas and brainstorming, it evolves. So
Yeah, if you have a community or a team, take a question that you have and ask and create content off of that. There you go.
Mhm.
seriously, it's really that easy.
Yeah.
I
I
mean, that's
love it.
literally how it started with us because questions through our community would come in and I would answer them. And then it got to be too time consuming because it was the same question and it took me too long to respond. So I just made one video. First, it started out with like, hi, Jessmyn, here's the answer to your question. And then I was like, oh, shoot, Jesy and Damaris also need this video. Let me leave the names out. So, hey, friends. But,
Yeah.
that way, whoever has this question, I don't have to stop what I'm doing and give them the answer. I just pull from the records that we already have, our help docs, our blogs, our YouTube channel of like, here's the link of what you need. This is what you're looking for. And it just makes your customers so much happier. It brings your response time down. It helps you manage your time better because you're not getting so involved in complex issues when you don't expect them or need to be.
Mhm.
Love it.
Yep.
And yeah, to wrap it up, I would say if you feel like video is not your strong point yet because you're just getting started, create that one video and use it in your customer support, in your articles, your social media, your emails, everything. And that's really all you need.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well, guys,
Break it down, guys. Break it
One
down.
last shameless plug for Dan Bennett because I really truly learned so much from his
Mhm.
cohort and his community video for entrepreneurs that if you're really really stuck or you're not feeling confident about getting on camera, go talk to Dan because he's so helpful in terms of how to get started, what types of content to create, and trust me, he'll remove all barriers for video
you
because
can also look him up as his business is the Antipreneur,
he's
which
rebranded video for
oh, he
entrepreneurs
has.
now. Yes,
Oh,
video for
okay.
entrepreneurs because that's exactly what he does. He helps entrepreneurs look and sound great on camera.
Love
Love
it.
it.
Well, guys, thanks for listening. And hopefully, you got some good info today. As always, if you have any questions for us, we love answering them and then brainstorming for ourselves while we're talking about it. But as always, check out Interact AI and request a quiz. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
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 Bye.